I hope you enjoyed yourself from the commercial break. I still remember my humble self, MC Unique. Mr. President, sir, I want to confirm if there is any proper registered membership list in the research, and also want to confirm how many members do you have by ascertaining the members, how many members do you have so far?
The research has a database at the chapter level. We have different structures in research, the Executive Council, National Executive Council, then we have the state structures as well as the chapter structures. The chapter structures, that is research in the different campuses. That is why my administration has also taken the pain and the drive to make sure research is properly constituted in each of the institutions, to have a chapter presence in the schools, so that we have a face in schools. That way we're able to really stamp our feet and say this is the number of 900 students we have. So we do have a chapter base. Whether it's updated, that is the question. Whether it's updated most recently, that will be the question. But we have a chapter base, and that happens at the chapter level. Okay. Yes, we do.
It's indeed a great pleasure. Now, I want to believe for one to emerge as the president of Nigeria Student Government, I don't think you will just emerge from somewhere. I want to believe there are some certain antecedents that might really spur you up to have a key position as a president of Nigeria Student Government. So can you tell us the antecedents that really speak for you during your period or your bid to become the president of Nigeria Student Government, sir?
The Nigeria Delta Students Union Government itself is different and peculiar to other students' union. It has some similarities with the National Institute of Nigerian Students by how their leadership emerges. I think in the election, yes, there are other qualities I possess that may have helped me stand out: compassion, capacity, competence, and character. But most importantly was the experience that I have had over the years. I think at the time when the union was almost in a position of decay, when there was no longer application for due process, the union, at various levels, the hierarchy, down to the students themselves, felt we needed somebody with the measure of experience, owing to the fact that I have served the union tremendously well as publicity secretary. So those achievements, especially with the experience we have had, helped me during my campaigns and then eventually in the election, because there were cases where we had gone to a state to campaign and then you hear, Ekadi, you are an old hand, you have performed well before now, so we feel we are more than able to do the job and do the job well. So the experience helped, but that experience came out of years of service, years of laying down the marker of this is how things should be done. Due process should be followed, and of course they have to be resolved. So those are the things that factored the greater chance that we had, myself and my team, going into the election. So, and that was primary for us.
Okay, indeed, that's indeed a great achievement on your side and entire Nigeria Student
You can see that.
Yes. So the question I want to ask here is, considering the primacy of your position as the president of the Nigeria Student Government, I want to know how will you be able to relate with other members of the Executive Council, knowing fully well that they all represent different states at the level of Nigeria Student Union Government.
Different states, different people, different characters. You have to know.
Yes.
You have to know.
How will you be able to relate with them on that?
One thing that has helped is individual collectivity.
Okay.
My administration has a tag of revival. That is the mission statement of the administration, revival. So we've been able to accept, we've been able to digest the vision of revival. We've looked at where the union was, where the union is, and where the union ought to be. And then the mandate of revival is accepted from everybody in the administration. So it has helped us to form a bond that were collectively involved in a project to revive the union. And that helps us to be focused. That helps us to curb the distractions that comes in when everybody's ego is being reflected and also being represented. So there is an identification of purpose, and once that is in place, it takes away the mismanagement, it takes away the lack of drive and the lack of commitment. You see everybody wants to make sure that the agenda is achieved. So whenever there's a tax on your table, you want to put in more to make sure that other students are convinced, the president is convinced. So that eliminates those differences that ought to be there. And of course, I'm a purpose-oriented person. When it comes to doing the job, we have to be focused. We have to be motivated at all times. We have to show competence and we have to show character. So that has sold the rest of my respected members. And there's mutual love and respect for each other. There's mutual understanding. So I don't discard the fact that we're all different people, but there's an identification of purpose that has helped us so far.
I'm indeed pleased to hear that, because it is only when people are united that's when they'll be able to achieve great things.
This is what I did.
Okay.
When we came back from Uyo, before the inauguration, we had a first meeting. That meeting gave room for us to know ourselves. And after that, we had another meeting in my own house. That was not even a meeting, it was more or less a familiarization celebration. I brought everybody together. We came in with our teaming supporters. We dined, we ate, we married, we joked, we spoke to ourselves. We wanted to become friends and colleagues at the same time. So that meeting helped everybody to relax. And we now knew that we were not in competition. We now knew that we were also not in opposition. We are the same persons in a collective agenda. So we had to provide opportunities and forums where we had to build ourselves. Most times I just go to our group and post a funny comment. And everybody laughs and we joke about it. And then I remind, we have such an assignment in front of us. What are we doing about it? So everybody's relaxed. Everybody's relaxed and we are driving the agenda together. There is no I. It's always a we. It's always an our. So those factors have helped.
Hearing this, I'm indeed pleased that you have already taken a lot of task to yourself as a position of the president in order to revive the Nigeria Delta student government, and indeed I'm pleased to hear that. But without wasting time and without neglecting the fact that NISOJ is a government, it's on its own. It's on its own, it's a government. So for NISOJ to work effectively, I want to believe the NISOJ need funds. So how have you been able to raise funds for the union and for the students of Nigeria Delta as a whole?
The Nigeria Delta Students Union government is not on, we're not on salary, first of all.
Okay.
And there's no substantial budget for NISOJ. When the union was created, we had provisions for that, especially from the NEDC, because the union was working with the visions of what it was created for. So those purposes there were availabilities for that, but it's not so. It's not so now. That is the harsh reality that I'm faced with. We're not funded, and as Nigeria Delta students, I don't subscribe to dues collection in our institution. We have to serve the people, so we can't tax the people to serve the people. So I know there are chapters where there are dues collection, but I don't subscribe to it. However, we do need money to run the administration. It is funds that drive ideas. For now that we are self-sufficient, for now we had to tax ourselves most times to make sure that the visions we have, we realize them. And I usually don't, it's maybe my own construction. I usually don't like so much appeal for funds. It makes people feel that we are now a beggar organization. We have to keep the integrity of the union intact. So what we do basically is that we identify